Welcome to the Peak Politics Podcast, episode 17. This is Sunday night.
Yeah,
It's
really
the
late
29th
Sunday
of the
night.
exactly. Filmed right around 11 o'clock. What's it, 10:54?
Yeah,
Um,
10:54.
November 29th. This will be the Thanksgiving weekend.
Yes.
So, we were gone for about 2 weeks. Didn't really have the time or the energy to get into making any episodes. Um, we'll go over some of that in detail. But other than that, pretty
Absolutely.
normal podcast. I'm gonna have some corrections to make, some things I gotta do. Uh, but beyond that, not my corrections for me. I'm perfect, but I must correct. I must ridicule the audience.
Right.
But we'll do that in due time. I think. Why? What would you do with your 2 weeks? Let's talk to the people about why exactly we didn't want to fucking talk to them. Aside from the fact that
So,
we don't like them very much, but that's not really.
well, it's just been there's been a lot of stuff going on with both of us. Like for me, there's been a lot of stuff going on with getting ready for the new job that I'm going to be starting at the beginning of the month, next month on the 7th, with a new company. And there's just been a lot of stuff that I've had to do in preparation for that. And then there's some stuff that's been going on as far as our solar panels and having to get all of that set up has kind of been a pain in the ass. Getting that all set up to where we don't have to pay the electric company anymore because they get paid from the energy that they get from the solar panels. But there was a whole bunch of stupid crap going on with that, so I had to deal with that. There's just a lot of stuff that has come up in the past 2 weeks to where it wasn't really feasible for me.
Yeah, I just focus on moving. I've been in the
Yep,
middle of doing that, so just
absolutely, yeah.
neither of us really were up to doing podcasting. We never promised you anything, so I don't really feel bad about that.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get back into it though.
Yep, absolutely.
I guess let's go ahead with some corrections here.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
we could do that.
yeah, I want to talk about an issue I see on the right more frequently now that I'm moving into libertarian circles in terms of Libertarian Party and
Mm-hmm.
looking at different economic institutes and now that I'm moving into some of the literature and some of the the thinkers and the from the liberty movement as they call themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they get really upset with the misdefining of terms, mainly because they're so consistently labeled as cranks and radicals. Wyatt, could you stop jumping around the fucking document like a goddamn spaz? I will slap your shit. All right.
Why?
You're just fucking annoying. I'm trying to look at this document. You're just jumping around the wheel with the fucking cursor like a bitch. You. Okay. Whatever. I'm sorry. But yeah, so people in the liberty movement, people you'd probably consider a little bit more center or even maybe further right, depending on which position you're talking about. Um, so I'm moving into those circles, mainly the Mises Institute, looking at thinkers like Michael Malice and whatnot, looking at the Fraser Institute, looking at Peter Schiff and people like that. And one of the things I've noticed is when we talk, and I'm guilty of this too, when we talk
Mm-hmm.
about the rioters and the looters and the instigators
Yeah.
in these conflicts the last year, many people seem prone to call them anarchists. And I don't think that's fair. And I saw a comment from probably one of our best, most awesomest, loyalist listeners
Mm-hmm.
said something to the effect that they were worried about having socialism and anarchy in this country. So I wanted to talk about socialism for a second. Bernie Sanders is not a socialist. Adolf Hitler was not a socialist. Those two, actually, they're very close to one another. That's why I'm making the comparison. Is that both these people believed in interventionist policies. They want to get involved in the economy very heavily, regulate it heavily, and maybe even nationalize some things like healthcare and certain businesses. But socialism is the state-owned production, is state ownership of the means of production.
Right.
Where communism is the stateless, moneyless system where there are communal ownership of the means of production. So communism, in its truest sense, is an anarchist philosophy. Um, and I guess my point was that people in Antifa, people in Black Lives Matter, are not. Well, first of all, many of them aren't even true communists. They're not
Mm-hmm.
actually paying any attention to the doctrine. They're using racial stuff as opposed to what Marx would have used, which was class warfare.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fundamentally flawed. Um, but more specifically, they're definitely not anarchists. One thing I want people to understand is that you may think that you're looking at an anarchist movement in this country, and you're not. What you're seeing is the brown shirts. You're seeing the KKK. You're seeing the enforcement wing of the Democrat Party act as such.
Right. Yeah.
These people are supporting the Democrat Party. These are not anarchists. They may claim anarchy. They may even believe that they're anarchists. But everything they do supports the Democrats.
Yeah.
That's not deniable. They kill and they harass enemies of the Democrats. That's just what it is.
Yeah.
And
very true.
I think this is the thing where you had been in Weimar, Germany, and you saw these brown shirt Hitler youths running around, screaming, like don't stand up against the Nazi regime, or don't be a race traitor, and beat you over the head for speaking out against the Nazi Party. You may have been content calling those people anarchists, or whatever you want, calling them somebody to the effect of lawless criminals. That's not the case. The brown shirts were the precursor to legitimate fascism. So when you look at people like, I think this is an important thing, the opposite of the truth. When you say people like Antifa are anarchists, you're missing the obvious here. Yeah. They're anti-fascist. Remember, like anti-racist, that actually just means fascist.
Right, yeah, exactly.
So these people are fascist. They may claim the mantle of anarchy to get support from certain people, but they're certainly not anarchists. And under Joe Biden, you will not get anarchy. You will get a crackdown of the government, untold proportions. However, what you will absolutely see, and this is where I think that we could act, because I think that the fear this viewer was expressing was accurate. The terms were not. You will see lawlessness. You will see rioters go unpunished. You will see crime rise. That's not anarchy. That is the government permission slip, basically, for this activity.
Of lawlessness.
Trust me, there will be heavy government when it comes to what you do, but not for them. And I think that's important to mention, because anarchy would be a system with no state, which is why anarchy and socialism are not the same thing. So I would say that we got to be careful. We get mislabeled on the right all the time, and I think it's fair to say that none of us like it. So I'm not saying call these people what they claim that they are, because they're not anti-fascist, they're not anti-racist. They are fascist and racist, which is as accurately define who it is we're combating. Because many of the anarchists, communists, the anarcho-capitalists, all the other crap, aren't generally speaking super pro-violence. Some of them are. Like the Boogaloo Boys are probably anarchists to an extent. A lot of them are probably anarchists in the purest sense. They just want to get rid of the state. They're not necessarily caring how that goes about. Although a lot of the Boogaloo Boys are right-wing, because they're probably capitalists too. But a lot of the Boogaloo Boys are, if you look at some of their forums, some of the groups, listen to some of the memes they put out, definitely pro-violence. They want it. They want violence with the government. Now, are they libertarians? Are they anarchists? Hard to pin down. It's hard to say, right? There are definitely groups calling for violence. I just don't think that anarchists in the truest sense are, because those people, I think, exist in places like the Mises Institute and other things like that. Michael Malice and Tom Woods, who are legitimate anarchists who actually believe in, peaceful anarchy. If you listen to Michael Malice, he would never advocate for the killing of government officials. He wants it to dissolve peacefully. So I don't think it's fair to call the fascist anarchists, because fascists and anarchists don't get along. That would be my public service announcement. Wyatt, anything to add?
No, not really. I agree that we should probably clarify the terms more, or better.
Well, it's like Sun Tzu said, you know your enemy.
Right, yeah.
It's the art of war. Let's make sure we understand exactly what we're staring in the face, and it's not anarchy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Anarchy we could deal with, because I think if it was the abolition of the federal government, the states would take over.
Yep.
I think anarchy we could actually legitimately have a better chance of fighting off. The socialism is what I'm concerned about.
Right, exactly.
The fascism is what I'm concerned about.
Yep. 100%.
All right, I think we're going to move on to free speech issues.
Yep.
More broadly speaking, I've got a couple links here for you guys. Some interesting stuff, specifically the Daily Wire article to Candace Owens winning her lawsuit against the fact checkers. I linked an article from Mises that I thought was interesting about free speech. Specifically, it quotes one of our favorite authors from English tradition, John Milton, guy that wrote Paradise Lost, Paradise Regained, and all that good stuff. He had some very strong quotes regarding free speech. John Milton did. One of the ones I thought was really interesting was truth needs no policies or stratagems to make her victorious.
Mhm.
These are the shifts and defenses that error uses against her power. So you realize that censorship, generally speaking, only cuts against things that are true.
Yep.
It's very now that isn't always true, right? Because in the social media sense, you'll get someone banned like a Nick Fuentes or like a Richard Spencer get banned, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Richard
Right.
Spencer doesn't get banned usually, but you get the point. You get people that are like legitimately awful. They're not the Nazis. I think it's more of them keeping up appearances. The people that they really want to get rid of are the people who are saying the truth, like the Alex Jones, who do really good, who accurately
Yeah.
criticize the government, who accurately criticize the globalist schemes. And for anyone who thought there wasn't globalist schemes, one of the things we need to put in our miscellaneous category is Justin Trudeau saying that just the Great Reset's happening. That needs, holy crap.
Oh yeah, we definitely need to put that
If
in
you
there.
didn't believe in Alex Jones before, you best fucking believe now.
Yep.
Because that shit is just straight out of his playbook.
Yeah. Not his playbook, but what he talks about.
Yeah, it's out of his
His
British.
wheelhouse. Yeah.
Yeah. So I left an article from
Oh, you put it
Mises
in
there,
there?
just going over
Okay.
going over John Milton and whatnot. No, I'll get the Trudeau thing later. But I know you have another article from Red State talking about suspending of the Russiagate movie by Twitter.
Oh,
The guy that made it or whatever. It's bullshit. We're gonna keep adding on this. I think this is gonna be a topic we go through repeatedly. Wyatt, you can't die during a podcast. We've been fucking over this.
sorry.
All right, so we're gonna be adding to this topic regularly, the free speech stuff, because um, there's a reason we're on platforms like BitChute. I don't think we did necessarily a good enough job of explaining all the really serious shit going on other platforms. So I think we're gonna try and make that a focus of the next couple of weeks. Is
Yeah,
just
that's
focusing on the
definitely
fact that free speech is a real. It's really in danger. I think under a Biden administration, I don't think there's any hope that they're going to get prosecuted for the crap they pull, or even chastised.
right. Yeah,
So
100%. Yeah. Sorry. I think I muted my mic for the while I was dying, coughing. I don't know if it's actually going to reflect that in the
I heard every bit
recording.
of you
I
dying.
know you did, but because I have the two channels, right? I have the output and then the actual my mic audio, which is where the audio and the video I believe is coming from. So
Don't worry about it, Wyatt. You're explaining the technical
um,
details to
yeah,
people
yeah,
that
yeah,
don't care
but
about it.
basically, oh, I'm splitting it
Move
to
on
you.
now.
So basically, I don't think that they're gonna hear it.
Wyatt, we're
What?
recording this.
I know.
You're explaining it to them.
I mean, hey, that's fine. Well, I mean, it kind of should be explained anyways. If they don't hear me coughing, and you're like, "Can you please stop dying?" and they don't know what's going on, so, because they probably won't hear it. Anyways, back to what we were gonna say.
We got so off track so fast.
Yeah, we did.
I gave my little holier than thou speech, and then it was all downhill from there. I couldn't hold it together any farther than that.
Yeah.
All right, that's the podcast. All right, let's see you guys next week. All right. Yeah, we should include some links for the free speech stuff. We're gonna again, that's a category we will continue to update. I want to get a nice long list of crap they're pulling,
Yeah.
and I want to just discuss it in detail because I don't think we do enough of that, despite the fact that we have almost we don't exclusively post here, but it's where the majority of our audience is, and it's
Yep.
pretty much pro free speech platform.
Yeah.
There's a reason that these technologies like Parler and whatnot are taking off. These competing businesses because they're offering that free speech, that marketplace of ideas,
Yep.
which you don't get in other places, unfortunately. All right, so let's go to the third subject here today. This is really interesting. Basically, Joe Biden is already fucking dying.
Yeah. Kamala's first attempt.
Yeah, that's what I titled it because it's
Yep.
what it seems like. He broke his foot playing with his dog.
Yeah. Which,
You can't make this shit up.
except I feel like he can. I feel like that's a lie. I feel like he didn't actually break it playing with his dog. I believe that he broke it. I just don't believe he was playing with his dog.
I'm willing to believe that he watched like a photo shoot or some shit.
Maybe, possibly, but I don't
He's
think that
pandering
that's
to
actually what happened. Maybe it was, but I don't know.
It doesn't even matter.
It
Like,
doesn't
that's not even the
actually
relevant
matter.
part
Yeah,
here.
no,
The
no,
part
no.
that
It
matters
doesn't
is
matter.
from having a broken foot from like
Yep.
basically nothing.
Yeah.
From a fall. Like, where did you fall from that your foot fucking broke? Tell me this. Tell me, Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, why does one explain to me how you
Right.
broke your foot falling? Like, why not your fucking, like, I don't know, your fucking pelvis, parts of your spine, an arm.
Yeah.
Nah. Foot. All right. But yeah, I think we probably should start elaborating on topics more.
Maybe.
It's been a couple weeks since we got into this. It's very difficult to get back into
Yeah, it is. So.
the overflow of information, the forthcomingness of information we had before.
Yeah.
All right. So the reason we think this is interesting is because we've gotten 3 weeks away from presidential
What do
election.
you have to say?
And we were promised, clean bill of health. Joe Biden's amazing. He'll be fine. And he's proven to us that he can't even play with his dogs, much less foreign leaders. I don't see this as being anything but absolute proof that this is not the person we should be putting on.
Yep.
Like, I mean, stupid shit happens. You break your fucking foot. Okay, fine. Like, but why in such rapid succession? Like, why are you having health problems consistently? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Like, 3 weeks after you get elected, you have a fucking broken bone already.
Yeah.
I'm doing nothing. You're hiding in the basement.
It's pretty concerning.
You're not even
for
doing
sure.
anything.
Yeah.
Fucking what the fuck, man? So it's just like, it's frustrating because it's so obvious what's happening here. He is not fit to be in this office. We have to sit here and pretend that he is.
Yeah, and even Nancy knows. That's why she had that press conference, a couple months back, about the 14th Amendment or whatever, and then she said it wasn't about whatever 25th Amendment. I couldn't remember.
What do you mean whatever?
So
That's a huge difference.
I know. And we can get into that whenever we do our Constitution episode. But look, I'm tired. Okay, that's why I got them confused, and I just don't remember what she was talking about. I just remember that she was talking about Biden, or she didn't say that she was talking about Biden, but she said that it wasn't about Trump. So yeah, that's why she brought that up, because I don't even think that they're pretending for like the general the general public, but everyone who's like actually knows what's going on, they know what's going to happen.
Well, you don't have to know what's going on. Just, like, fucking pay attention to the news in any small detail, and this is not a healthy person.
Yeah, he's not. He's definitely not.
No, and this is what makes it more infuriating. That it looks like it was such fraud. Let's go ahead and dive into that real quick, because this is going to take a little bit to go over. Some of these claims are pretty outrageous. Some of the data is really hard to find. We're going to work hard to find some data for you guys. Like, unfortunately, some people are not very forthcoming. I'm having trouble finding. I got to figure out where do I go to get filed lawsuits for various states.
Yeah. Well,
like, usually a lot of the commentators I watch or like news places I follow will link them, but I had a real hard time finding.
Well, I actually have the lawsuits. The lawsuits are in that first PDF.
That was the whole lawsuits?
At least most.
Oh, okay, thank you. So I had a trouble finding them, but you didn't. That's good. That's very good.
Yeah.
All right, so never mind. We have lawsuits. First link, if you'd like to look at that.
Yeah, and that's
lawsuits
not
really
the
what's
Sidney
interesting.
Powell ones. That's not the Sidney Powell ones.
No, those are the official ones, right?
Yeah. Those are a lot of the official ones. They're not all by the Trump team, but I don't know if.
But they're all challenging the election, right?
Yep. Yeah. And then.
All right. Well, hey, go ahead and take a look at those guys if you'd like
Yeah.
to check out the actual content of the lawsuits. That's gonna be. We're gonna talk about some other stuff here that isn't lawsuit related, but those are the most important things, since that's actually what's being battled in the courts. That's what you really need to.
These are all in the battleground states as well.
Yes, Wyatt.
Right. Yeah. Of course. So.
But yeah, that's
And then.
That's what you should look at if you're talking about like if you want to look at if you want to like to know where this is going, what to expect in the next couple of weeks. That's going to be your most friendly, your most valuable and friendly link to you. It's going to be that first one.
Yep. And
under the election fraud category. But the next couple ones are going to be mainly links to news sites on some other stuff.
Yeah. So real quick, the second link is the one to the one that Sidney Powell, the ones that she's doing in Georgia and Michigan. Now the defendingtherepublic.org, that's the link, and it has both. You just have to scroll down to where it says the Kraken is released on Georgia, and then the Kraken is released in Michigan, and then it has it sends you to the PDF documents for the case for the lawsuits in both of those places. So, yeah.
Yeah. So links are all there. Let's just get into it.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of deliberate propaganda regarding what's going on here. Many news sources have made a very, very, very pointed, I would say, extremely organized attempt to say that there's been zero evidence of fraud.
Yeah.
And that's fucking insane.
It is.
And you can see some news sites backpedal on that. To, well, it's not, it's just
It's not
affidavits.
widespread.
It's just
It's not
widespread.
widespread.
It's just like it's not enough to turn over the election.
Yeah.
To well, it doesn't matter anyway.
Yep. Exactly. Because Biden's already won, apparently.
Biden's better than Trump for
Yeah.
some reason.
Mm-hmm.
So there's just been a lot of media malpractice on this, where it's just like, I mean, to be fair, there's nothing really to talk about. If you're watching this podcast, you know exactly what to expect from the media. So I don't really need to educate you
Yeah,
any further on
very
media.
much so,
That's a waste of your time. But we'll get to some of the claims here in a second. I guess my only point I want to say about this is that if you think the media is a unique institution in this respect, you'd be wrong.
Right.
Look at your public education. Look at your Hollywood. Look at any institution, virtually any of them, and you'll get propaganda of this level throughout history. So I would just say that if you think it's odd how the media is acting now, if you've in the last couple of years woken up to some things, take a look at history and see what else you find interesting. Because I guarantee you, this sort of shit is not an uncommon aspect of American culture.
Right. Yeah.
This sort of unfiltered fucking garbage propaganda.
Yep.
There's a good example of this actually. Not to take off, not to get us too far off point. Yep. There was a journalist, or maybe it was an author, I think it was a journalist, in the 1917, who was trying to make a point about wartime propaganda. So he wrote an article in which he talked about the origins of the bathtub. And he said that it was created in 1840, and then he just made up some name for some medical institution. Said they were concerned about the health of it, yada yada yada. And then we got pipes involved, and and then there's this huge debate about whether or not that we should be accepted in American life. And then the president at the time, Fillmore, saw one in the White House, and we were done. We didn't have to talk about it anymore. And he said at the end of the article, he goes, "See, that's a nice, believable story, except for every bit of it's a lie."
Right. Yeah.
And then he said, and that's how propaganda works: is that you say things that sound good, and you just don't get called on it.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
And that's the media, but we have the internet now, so we really get called on it. But more specifically, what happened was he started having people in Congress quote his article for some dumbass reasons. He had other research material use him as a source on information regarding the bathtub, and he had to write letters multiple times saying, "Dude, it says right there in the fucking article that this is not true. This article is not about the bathtub; it's about propaganda." But it's proving his own point.
Yep.
That people will believe anything if you publish it in a reputable newspaper and you say some stupid ass jargon about it. So I mean, remember, like we've said this a couple times, like New York Times saying sex in the Soviet Union was better for women than it was in the USA. Like, what? How was anyone supposed to believe that? Like, you have to completely misunderstand every aspect of the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
Dude, there's like 15 people to a one-bedroom apartment in the Soviet Union. That's very common.
Yeah.
In the 40s, that was not common in America. Now, don't get me wrong, it happened in New York, it happened in heavy industrial areas. Like, that is not the common standard, but that was very common in Russia. Cramped living quarters. That was common in the 1890s in Russia. 1880s, all that time. That was very common in the big cities in Russia. I mean, this idea that sex is better than the Soviet Union, this makes no freaking sense.
Yeah, none at all.
First of all, even if it was, how would that justify communism? Like, what the fuck is this unbelievable garbage? But they posted it in the New York Times, and the New York Times never gets called out on it. I don't know how many people believe that, but that's the other thing. They call it some sort of amnesia. There's a word for it, like some sort of you'll. And Andrew Clavin talks about this, where you will be reading the newspaper, and you'll believe everything you see, and then you'll find one section about something you actually know about, and you'll go, "This is totally wrong." Well, let's say it's like something about like meat packing, and you work in the meat packing industry, and you notice that they make false claims.
Yeah.
And you go, "Well, that's terrible. That's a bad article." But then you just go and believe the rest.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
It's like, America, if you think your media is corrupt now, if you think your government's corrupt now, then I encourage you to go look at alternative views of American history, alternative views of American politics for the last 40 years. Trump is, again, this is a great quote from Ben Shapiro. Trump is not the world did not start turning when Trump got into office.
Exactly. Yeah.
These problems have been here for a long time.
Yeah.
Ron Paul ran on this. Mitt Romney talked about this to some extent, I believe. The Republican leadership talked about this constantly. in 2012, 2008, that the media is not fair to them.
Yeah.
Like, that was a general Republican sentiment. That's why it was so easy for Trump to capitalize on that.
Right, exactly.
People
Yeah.
already believed it. So if you think Trump is getting incredibly unfair coverage, I want you to go look back at the rest of American history, look for American politics, and see what else you find that looks like totally unfair fucking coverage.
Yep.
I'd be shocked how much your opinion changes.
Very much
Just
so.
generic stuff you learn in world history, like, for example, like Herbert Hoover. He was a laissez-faire capitalist. He let the economy crash in the 1930s and didn't do a damn thing to help it. What you wouldn't be told is that FDR called him a socialist in his campaign because Herbert Hoover had spent more on public works in 4 years than the last 6 presidents combined. That's the sort of shit you wouldn't hear in world history.
Yeah. And then also
or U.S. history.
Yeah, and then I also learned, or quote unquote learned, I was taught in U.S. history that the parties flipped, which that never happened.
Total bullshit.
Yeah.
The only thing that really
100%.
happened,
It's fabricated.
that you can actually, yeah, the only measurable thing that happened is that Democrats became the party of the elite,
Yep.
and they kind of already were. And Republicans just decided, hey, we won the race thing, we won the equality thing. Let's talk about the economy.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Like, that's the real shift, if you ask me. There is a shift in messaging, but it's not a flip.
It's definitely not a flip.
It's the Democrats stopped giving a shit about the working class, and Republicans just said, okay, fine, well, time to talk about the economy because we've got what we wanted.
Yep, exactly.
And really, you can tie all that to the 1960s. Like, every bit of it.
Exactly, yeah.
That's where I would say it's pretty prominent.
Of course.
So, yeah, it's just like, again, I could be wrong about that. There's a number of ways. There's a number of ways to break down this idea of the party switch, but it doesn't seem like a switch. It seems like a changing of platforms over times.
Right.
Like, it was never that the Republicans all of a sudden went, okay, well, we want slavery now. Like,
Yeah.
that never fucking happened.
Yeah, it never happened.
Republicans didn't become racist. Democrats didn't stop being racist. Get this shit out of your head. They founded the KKK, and they're very proud of it.
Yeah.
Don't forget that.
100%.
So it's just like the party switch is like, and I remember learning that in school too, actually.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, that was
In
not
11th
that
grade.
time. Now, I don't remember that being in the textbooks. I remember hearing
Yeah,
it.
but that's
from my
what I
teacher.
was told by my teacher, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it was in the context of Abraham Lincoln was the first Republican president, but technically he would be a Democrat today because of the party switch. That's what I was told by my high school teacher.
And that's not what I got, because what I got was that, like, that the North and the South, the North used to be Republican, the South used to be Democrat, but then the Republicans started becoming more racist. The South
Yeah,
started-
I think they said
that's
something
that's
similar
the
to
way
that.
it was pitched to me, basically.
Yeah,
It's just like,
I think she
okay,
also said
sure.
that the North were the Democrats and the South were. Oh wait, no, sorry. The North were Republicans and the South were Democrats, and then they switched, and then the South became Republicans, and then the North became Democrats. That's kind of how it was framed as well. I think, but
we need
I
to get
more
to
so
voter fraud, but
remember.
we've been off on this tangent for a
Yeah.
while.
Sorry.
But yeah, I get your point. The idea is that, they tried. There's a lot of shit you learn. Like, for example, if anyone in the comment below, do you think that World War II got us out of the Great Depression?
Right.
Comment down below if you
I thought that
believe
too.
that.
That was another lie I was told.
And it just makes no sense on its face.
Yep.
If you want to say World War II did that, then you be clear. You mean the 50 million deaths and the destruction of the rest of the world.
Yeah, exactly.
The industrial world, specifically. That's what you mean. Like, you don't actually mean that the wartime economy was good, because there's no way you can hold that position.
No.
That will not hold up under scrutiny. All right, let's get back to this shit. One of the things we need to post down there is the police getting considerably more authoritarian in other countries.
Oh yeah.
Today in France, 3 police officers brutally beat, or maybe it was yesterday, a black man and called him multiple racial slurs because he wasn't wearing a mask.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
At least that was a video that I watched, like half that video from Tim Pool, and then I had to go do something. But he basically said, I'll have to pull the article he actually used.
Yeah. That's horrible.
And drop it. Yeah, but that's what was being claimed, and it said it was looking like making Macron look bad, which there's no shortage of things that make Macron look bad. So it's like, I don't know why this is the one, but all right.
Right. Yeah. For sure.
I would say doing something so bad that the French try to burn down their own art, like they're trying to burn down the Louvre. I'd say that hints that maybe you're a shit leader.
Right? Yeah, definitely.
The French are like, fuck our art, we want the guillotine. Like that's bad. That's real bad. You've made a real mistake.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. It's interesting, but I mean that was the story I heard out of France, and then I saw multiple videos out of the UK of like 12 fucking officers at a time piling on people who weren't wearing masks.
That's horrible.
Like this is the fucking gang tactics you get, and well, gang run areas. I mean,
Yeah. Exactly.
These people stalk individuals in groups of like fucking 10 or more, and then they just jump them with whenever they fucking want to, and it's like, what the fuck is this?
Right? Yeah, it's pretty
What
crazy.
bullshit is this crap? That you're just gonna like, what the fuck? And this is the other thing, is the fact that you need 12 people to hold someone down. It's because you don't have a gun.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
And by the way, I'm thankful the British police don't have guns, because when I airdrop guns over the fucking country and tell citizens to fight back, they'll have a real good chance.
Yeah.
Watch out, Britain. I'm coming to guillotine your monarchs.
No, none of that. No threats.
I'm doing it.
Stop. No.
No.
No. No
You
to
can't
your
stop
no.
me.
No.
Reverse.
Uno reverse card to your.
No, I got you first. I got you reversed.
Oh, I reversed. You reverse.
No, you.
No, you. Okay.
No,
This
you.
is getting really silly and stupid. Let's stop.
I feel like I won that. I got the last no you.
No, you. Oh, dude. Also, we're up to 13 subs now. We were at like 10. So.
I feel bad for the people that listen to our content.
Yeah, because I'm sure a lot of them probably don't know what we're talking about half the time with our references and stuff. But it's fine.
No, they do. They're on the internet. Trust me, they
That's
get
not
it.
true.
It's
My
just-
my
it's
mom
not quality
doesn't
content.
my mom does not understand a lot of
That's
that
not
stuff.
relevant.
That is
She's
relevant.
one of like the 40 people. I'm just saying the majority of them are totally in the loop here.
Maybe, but maybe not. They probably don't understand the first meme that we had in the thing.
I'm gonna go on a limit. Hey, if you understand the first meme, like if you actually get the reference, please put it down in the comments
Yeah,
below.
please put it down in the comments below. We want to
Or
know.
leave a like.
Yeah, or leave a
I'll
like.
take a like, but I'd rather a comment.
Yeah, a comment would be preferred.
All right, cool. That's not for engagement. I don't know, like if we came off as like total shills. I am a shill, like for my own interest, but that's not relevant. I don't know if we came off as total shills, like before we were asking for comments. Like I actually would be very interested in conversation. Like I would like to talk to you guys who think that we're content worth listening to, because something like 40 of you regularly do that. So someone thinks that we're worth listening to. I don't know who. Like God, oh my God, I'm so sorry. But, like, I'm so sorry. Your judgment's so flawed that this is what you turn to on a weekend.
Yeah.
But I would love to know, like, what actually animates you to click on the links to our videos.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Why? Is there something we're doing specific? Is there some skill we need to be marketing? Like, you hoping for dick pics because we're never gonna give them?
Never.
Like, I don't know what you
never.
want from us. Like maybe a nip slip on my part, but I don't know if it.
Not on mine.
Like I'll start an OnlyFans, but only for
Bitcoin eyes.
only for like diagrams of illegal guns. I'll just put diagrams for machine guns up there. Like,
there you go.
dude, you know what would be great about that? You know, the genius part about that?
What's up?
Because if I'm sending those and we're treating them as nudes, do you think any government official would dare to open those?
I doubt
if they
it.
think it contains nudes.
I highly doubt it.
Privacy would be so fucking real.
Yeah.
Dude, 10 out of 10. We should absolutely start an illegal machine gun porn channel. Anyway, getting on to like real stuff. We keep trying to get back to the election fraud. I guess it's been a while since we talked together on a podcast. It's just it's easier to get sidetracked than I remembered. Let's get back to this quick. So the issue here with the election fraud is not so much that it did or didn't occur. The issue is that you convinced half of America it didn't, and the other half is completely convinced it did.
Right.
And
yeah.
One way or the other doesn't even matter. No one's on the same page. Like, why couldn't we all just agree that some fishy shit happened and needs to be looked into? Like, that would be perfectly acceptable if everyone thought that. So some people would think it was fraud. Some people would think it wasn't fraud. But if we all agree it was somewhat fishy and it should be looked into, then we can function as a nation. This is where we see the problems: is that we have two separate realities.
Right,
They're
exactly.
mutually exclusive realities. They can't be reconciled. And there's a series of organizations that benefit from this division, namely the Democrats, the media, and it's just some other some Republican news sites, Newsmax, Fox, not Fox really because they
Yeah,
fucked
no.
up,
Yeah, no.
but
They
they're right
messed up
wing
big
news
time.
sources. But you have to admit the right wing news sources are new. Like they're just catering to a market that already exists because
Right.
there's
Yeah.
serious demand for it. The left wing news sources were started left wing, continued left wing, and have been consistently trying to change reality for like half the country. Now they started, as far as I can tell, with an agenda. These right wing guys, I don't know if there's an agenda for them doing what they're doing. They're just catering to an audience. I mean, they're
Right.
startups, so
They're just giving the news to everybody through a conservative lens.
yeah,
More so than
and by
anything.
demand because the market's there.
Right.
People
Exactly. Yeah.
want it.
It is.
Dude, I was over at my family's Thanksgiving, and I the whole time we were there, my stepdad watched Newsmax.
Oh, nice.
And I'm a big fan of cable news. Like I found them to be a little bit over the top.
Right.
But I didn't disagree with hardly anything they said. I mean, they make the
Right.
points.
Yeah.
And he was just saying, "Oh, well, he's a liberal. I think he probably voted for Biden. I don't really want to ask him because it's inappropriate." But
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's just like, but he was like, "I just want to get the other side because the other networks won't even cover it."
Mm.
It's like that's all it is. Like, he knows funky bullshit happened, and he wants to see what it's about. But these other
Yeah.
networks won't cater to it.
Yeah. They
So
won't.
of course these right wing networks are starting up to just inform the audiences, the masses, of the other side of this fucking coin.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that the issue for me with election fraud is that it's further proving out that there are two entirely separate dimensions we live in. They are mutually exclusive. They cannot be reconciled, and it will cause serious tension. And I was hoping it would just cause gridlock. Like you get two sides in the government, they would never agree on anything, and nothing would get done. That would be the best situation for the American people. But it feels to me that they're going to steal this election. They're probably going to steal the Georgia election, where no one's, half the country will think it was totally legit. Like here's the right. This is the funny thing. This is why I think it's a real problem. Is that if you're a Republican, you can say, yeah, 2016 was a little odd. Some of the stuff Ukraine did was weird. And some of the stuff Russia did was kind of unwarranted, but it was also extremely minor. We have proof of what they did.
Right,
We know
yeah.
it affected
Exactly.
the outcomes, and we feel confident that it wouldn't have been a serious issue. But we think this year was really screwy, specifically because of a system that had never been used before, and also because these machines, which we knew were a problem back in 2016 because we were complaining about it then too, these machines seem to have been possibly hacked or just designed to give votes to Joe Biden. So that's where we're coming from.
Right,
If you're on the
exactly.
left, you have to believe that in 2016 the election was stolen from the American people by Russian agents on behalf of Donald Trump. The entire election was illegitimate, and that it was completely and like just undeniably serious election fraud. At the very
Right,
least,
yeah.
voter disenfranchisement. At the very least, voter suppression and whatnot. And you also have to believe at the same time that our election system is the most unbelievably perfectly secure system ever made, and there's no way fraud can occur.
Right, yeah, exactly.
You have to hold. You cannot, as a Democrat, hold any other two positions on those issues and be considered part of the clique. You'll get kicked the
Yep.
fuck out. If you go, well, hey, maybe the 2016 election wasn't so bad, and I'm looking at this system now. If I really believe in it now, then I should probably believe in that one. And Trump was legitimate, but now he's not. Like that would at least be like a rational person's like I think the systems are fair view of things.
Yep.
Like if you actually believe the election system this time go around was fair, despite the fact that mail-in voting has been Jimmy Carter's administration called it a fucking travesty. Democrat, that was terrible.
Yep. Exactly.
So if you actually had the gall to say that this election was fair, but still call Trump illegitimate for the last 4 years, then you're an idiot, and you're not someone I can talk to, and that's my point. Is that half the country is no longer someone that we can just have a conversation with. They will not accept
No, they
any
won't.
criticism
No,
of
none.
their fucking paradoxes.
Everything is perfect. Everything is perfect.
Everything makes sense in liberal land.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And
Neverland.
Exactly. Isn't that what I fucking called our very
Yes.
first?
Yeah.
Return to Neverland.
Return
Yeah,
to Neverland. Yeah.
yeah, that's what it feels like. That's what the circus we're in, man. Ran by children.
Yeah, it's
I
like
went
that
out
music.
in the
That
world
dun
when I
dun
grew
dun dun
up,
dun
and
dun
Peter
dun
Pan
dun.
still. Yeah, but I went out in the world and grew up, but here's Peter Pan still acting like a fucking fool.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's exactly how I feel about it, man.
Yeah.
And that's my biggest issue with the election fraud. Now, again, we'll get back into the specific issues here. We got a shitload of links for you. Specifically some interesting stuff with the dead people, because that's like, we're getting really anal about that in a way we weren't the last couple of elections. I think we should have been just as critical. But it's interesting to see how widespread some of the dead voting is. But I'll get into that in a little bit later. I just want to say that I think this is a problem. That we've indoctrinated half the country in such a way that they can't freely think. Now, I think the Trump people, there are some people I've met who cannot freely think on the Trump side.
Yeah.
I work with people who literally think every move he makes is perfect. He's an absolute genius.
Oh, yeah, absolutely
consistently, not. Yeah, he's consistently misunderstood. And it's, that's what you feel like. That might be like 10, 15% of the Trump voters. I hope it's not any more than that.
Yeah, me too.
Me and Wyatt, we're having arguments lately, but at least Wyatt's open-minded. I mean, when we disagree about something, I think there's a criticism of like conservative values, or whatever. I don't even know what those are, by the way, because it's like so. The word conservative and liberal and left and right just means so little now.
Yeah.
I feel like the authoritarian versus libertarian divide is probably the best way to put it in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Do you believe in freedom and human rights, or do you believe in the crackdown of human rights towards the goals of the state?
Mm-hmm.
But when we and Wyatt talk and we disagree about stuff, like it's pretty amicable, and it's easy to convince him of certain things. If I can provide the data for it.
Yeah.
And he's, I'm willing to listen to his arguments if I think they have any merit, and it's not difficult to have that conversation.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I don't think it'd be easy to try and convince a liberal they're wrong of anything. And I don't mean liberal. I mean, sorry. It wouldn't be easy to convince a Democrat and a leftist at this point in time. Half the country, progressive, that they're wrong about anything.
Yeah.
Because to them, it's every aspect of their philosophy must be perfect.
Right.
Right. Every 100%. Aspect of every contradictory statement, every bullshit like bumper sticker has to be. It is a perfect political philosophy with zero flaws. Because remember, if you for even on one point do not agree with the leftist orthodoxy, the leftist I don't know, the leftist religion, then they'll attack you vigorously, like fucking J.K. Rowling, man.
Yeah.
Doesn't think trans people should be treated, trans men and trans women should be treated the same as biological men and women.
Yeah.
Thinks that they should be shouldn't have them mixing in sports and things like that. She's actually standing up for women's rights in that respect.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, you're just a radical turf feminist and you're awful and you're evil. It's like she agrees with you on like 99% of things, which is so funny because she wrote one of the most conservative Christian stories like fucking ever. I mean, it's like straight up Christian motif. Like you can't even ignore it.
Yeah.
And it's like it's just clearly pulls from Christianity. You know what I mean?
Which are you? Which part of Harry Potter? But which part are you?
I mean, like
referring
the
to?
archetype.
Okay, yeah.
Like Harry as the merciful, heroic, courageous, warrior for his, righteous force, which in this case, it normally be God, but in this case, it's Dumbledore. Yeah. Dumbledore represents God the Father in Harry Potter, and that's kind of what his role is. Yeah. In that case, I guess this metaphor for Harry is like Jesus. But that's, of course, he's not actually a Jesus archetype. He feels more like a Saint George, or because maybe literally, or maybe like a Saint Patrick, since he kills the snakes.
Maybe, yeah.
But you get the point. I mean, like there's Christian archetypes in there.
Or actually, that would be more close to Neville, because Neville is the one who killed Nagini in the end.
But Harry killed the basilisk.
Yeah, in the second one, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He kills the snakes, and he talks to them.
That's true.
Yeah. He speaks their language.
Yeah, very true.
But there's a lot of Christian motifs in that, and I would say there's also a lot of other things going on there too. But I mean, like, it's a conservative story to me.
Yeah, I agree.
Like it has a conservative outlook on life.
I like it so much.
Exactly, it's a good story. It really is, and it's just so funny. Oh, by the way, Dumbledore's gay. Like, no, he's not.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. By the way, Hagrid's like a big bear, and he sucks cock in the week as a gay nightclub. Like, no, he's not.
No, he's not. No, I don't believe that. No, I don't think so. No, especially because I don't know if this happened in the book, but in the movie, he and McGonagall went to the dance together. So maybe he changed.
Well, proves nothing, but I mean,
yeah, but
that's just them dancing with one another.
Yeah, but they were each other's date.
But Hagrid, when they're trying to claim that Hagrid was gay at one point, it's like
I don't know.
He has a crush on that fucking mistress from the female dance, the female
school.
Degree. Yeah.
Yep.
He likes French tricks. He
the ones that are really tall.
That's close to being gay, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, French people. I didn't mean that.
Nah.
I didn't
Don't
mean that to come out
apologize to the French people. Don't apologize to them. They deserve it.
Okay, well, I'm like 45% French, but I didn't want that to come out as harsh as it
Okay.
ended up coming out.
Okay. Fair enough.
Your women are ugly, but that's not. That's
Oh,
doesn't make it out there.
damn! Freaking
The funny thing
savage
is,
over here.
that's not even true.
Yeah, it's not.
Anyway,
It's still
back to
funny.
topic. It's just, I think we got on Harry Potter, but the point is J.K. Rowling. She gets fucking torn to bits for having one
Yeah,
opinion.
exactly. Yeah.
So they have a religion they have to adhere to, and on the right, that's not the case. On the right, we have a real religion, and then we have politics.
Right. Yeah.
You
Exactly.
can change political opinion.
Yes.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Now, changing your religious values on a whim, that's not so good.
Yeah.
But
Definitely not.
Mitt Romney.
Oh, damn. Freaking savage.
Get him. Get him.
The Mormon?
The Mormon that supports abortion. Yeah, that's.
No, I was referencing Joe Biden. He was like the Mormon guy or whatever.
I know.
Did he say the governor guy? Is that what he said?
I think he said the Mormon governor guy or something like that.
Yeah, the Mormon governor guy.
Is it me, the guy you fucking debated in 2012? You senile bitch.
Yeah, the one who you said would, lock back and
Put-
change? Put black
go
people
back
back in
and
change? Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, I've had enough fun at various off-track bullshit.
Yeah. Let's get
So
back
one
to
of the things that was interesting was there's an article somewhere in this absolute
Minefield.
clusterfuck. I think it's like the fourth article down about from the New York Post. Tucker Carlson claims about 25 dead people voted. He lists 25 examples. There's
Right, yeah.
probably insinuating there's a lot more, but I mean, so that's an interesting article to look at if you'd like to see what Tucker's saying on that. But basically, he points out that some of these people are clearly dead, died last year, and they voted.
Some people died in like 2008, 2006, 1984.
Some people were
Somebody
born
died.
in 1900. Like, I mean, there's all this
Yeah.
fucking crap. I mean, but I mean, this is the thing. Tucker goes over about 25 specific cases that are very interesting.
Yes, very much so.
And then third link down is going to be the Crowder link, which was also really fascinating. I don't know if anyone watches Crowder to the extent that we do in our audience. I hope you do.
I would
He's
hope
very
so.
funny. Like, I don't agree with Crowder
Yeah,
and
he's
everything,
great.
but he is very funny.
He's hilarious.
And
And that's why I started watching him more than Ben, is because
well, he's just so funny. This crew is so good.
Yeah, they're all so good, and the production's so awesome.
And I love his research, the way he does his
Yes.
research, man.
Yeah, exactly. And then
I
another thing
appreciate
about
the
him.
service, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And then another thing is, it's 4 or 5 people giving their different opinions on the certain topic instead of just the one. That's why
I
I
love hearing
prefer.
get on racetrack.
Yeah.
Cause like, have you ever been to a racetrack?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, dude. Oh my god. First of all,
Sidetracking.
I don't mind racetrack, but like QT is superior.
It's so much better.
QT is a superior race. Let's just be honest here.
Yeah, when it comes to
All,
gas stations.
all other gas stations should be bred out of existence.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
But
the prices at QT are artificially low because they're not. Sorry, they're naturally low because they're not marked up
yeah,
by them.
exactly. Yeah. But anyways.
I'm gonna start referring to racetrack as like I'm gonna start like just using Nazi propaganda, but I'm gonna insert racetrack as the Jews.
There you go. But back to what we were talking about with
The
Crowder.
racetrack is a crafty creature. We'll try to convince you that economics is very complex and you should store gold and it's false. Don't listen to it. I'm kidding. I'm gonna get in so much trouble for that.
Oh, man.
Anyway,
Oh well.
I mean later in my life, not now. People in the
yeah.
audience, they can take a joke.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean,
So that was
you are
interesting, but
Jewish, so
Fuck,
you can
keep
make
getting
those
on track.
jokes.
Louder Crowder is the .com. We slash Stone Notes. We went ahead and put the link in there. What he stumbled upon in Michigan was that there's multiple counties. So if you add up all the votes from those counties, it's about 173-ish thousand, 172,000, which is the margin of victory for Biden. Basically, it's what wins him that election. And he in these precincts in Chicago. Not Chicago, I'm sorry, Detroit. It's precincts. I'm tired. And these precincts in Detroit, he Crowder noticed that these precincts with like a couple thousand votes had a 0% voter turnout, or rather, they had like 0 registered voters, right?
Right. Yeah.
So there's only 2 explanations for that. One, there's legitimately 0 voters there, and that's what the hell. Or 2, there is a registration number, and the amount of votes far exceeds the registered voter count.
Right, and they're hiding it.
And they're hiding it. Like a bunch of these counties being like Tim Pool tweeted about it, like being shown at like 780% turnout.
Yep. Yeah, it's really bad. It's really bad.
There's crap like that. Or the third option being, government websites suck ass and the employees have no incentive to do better.
Oh, dude.
Now I doubt that because it's like the exact number that Joe Biden needs to win, like pretty much right around
Yeah,
there.
pretty close. Yeah.
It's the numbers just make it, everything is. It's just so coincidental.
Oh, Andrew. On a side note, guess what I found?
Oh,
I found the affidavits.
oh, cool. So
Yeah, I
Wyatt's
put them in
been
there.
looking for those for a while. But
Yep.
so he dropped those as the third link.
Yep.
And the
And I found
election
another one
area.
too.
Perfect. Let's move on to this other stuff. We have another article from the New York Post, right beneath the Tucker Carlson one, laying out some of the claims made by a Democrat insider,
Right.
talking about how this election was rigged. If you'd like to go look at some of those claims, they're interesting. He doesn't really make a lot of specific claims. He just says it was fraud, and fraud was more the rule than the exception, and he does some stuff to that respect. You're welcome to go read it, see whether or not you believe it. I'm not going to claim it's I'm not going to claim it's necessarily good.
Yep.
Article, I don't know.
Yeah.
Then we have another article here. Is it actually from Tatum Report, or is it? No. There's no Geller report. Ah, Pamela Geller. Nice.
Yep.
Why you put the wrong link in there?
What do you mean?
It's the wrong link.
What do you mean?
There you go. Fix it.
You did?
Yeah, I did. So Geller report saying that
okay,
more than
gotcha.
10,000 dead people cast ballots in Michigan. Interesting. Welcome to read it. I believe that. That was like I think the Voter Integrity Voter Integrity Foundation was saying exactly that. That there was roughly 10,000 dead people they had confirmed
Right.
that
Yeah.
had voted. So that's an interesting story. Welcome to read up on that one. We have a Powerline blog, which I believe is the. Let's see here. PDF. Yeah. Yeah, okay. This is what I thought it was. Sorry, I had to reread the article because the link did not explain itself very well.
Yeah.
This is going over Wisconsin and some of the voter turnout data and how it basically between 2002 and 2018, no state has ever recorded more than 80% turnout.
Right. Yeah.
Wisconsin, however, has 88% or close to 89% turnout. Some people say that same day registration. Sorry, but that doesn't make up for it, in my opinion. There's just absolutely no way that accounts for this.
No, it doesn't.
Now, it may account for some small percentage of that, but not enough to justify this. And frankly, same day registration, we need to get rid of that because that is what allows this sort of shit to happen. That is not a good system. If your same day registration numbers cannot, under any circumstance, be tallied and added to your voter turnout numbers because of how fucked the system is, you need to get rid of that system.
Yep.
That is an easy way to hide fraud.
Very much so. Yeah.
So that is a crap system in Wisconsin. I'm shocked that we allow systems like that in the country, where the government doesn't have to provide data on the actual turnout rates because people can even make the argument that this is happening.
Yep. 100%.
Plus, there's Wisconsin's one of those states again where they're claiming a massive amount of dead voters and people that have moved out of state. We had another guy from the voter security foundation, whatever it was. I can't remember his name. Oh, fuck, was it Voter Integrity Institute? Fuck. I'll find it later. Bodybuilder they called who'd been reported as was it voting in either Arizona or I think maybe it was Nevada. And they asked him, "Do you even live there?" He's like, "No, I haven't lived there in a while.
Oh my goodness.
I voted my new state. I'm over here training for the Olympics."
Oh, and apparently Crowder, he was registered in Michigan as well. Apparently, he was still registered in Michigan somehow.
Did he vote?
No, he said that nobody received his ballot either. Apparently.
Cool.
Yeah, he said, turns out I was registered to vote in 2 different states, and somebody else. He said somebody else did. Yeah, somebody else received my second ballot. Still making calls. There will be a lot more tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time.
Crowder's got fraud.
Yep.
We have another report from Tatum TaylorReport.com. This one actually is written by them.
Yep. Yeah, it is. It's about
So
Rudy.
this is about Rudy Giuliani. He was last week or so, he claimed that City Pal was not actually working, with them. They're in a parallel
Right,
thing,
yeah.
different investigation, but they're not actually on the same legal team. So,
Right. Yeah.
kind of conflicts with some of the things he said earlier. We kind of think it has to do with maybe they don't really have a lot of faith in what she's saying.
Right. Maybe. Yeah.
But at the very least, they're pursuing different legal paths right now. So that's my news on Sydney Powell, is that she made some pretty extraordinary claims, and some people feel that she did not provide extraordinary evidence for that. So seems a bit of a falling out between her and the Trump team. But I mean,
Yeah,
she's still
probably.
pursuing her lawsuits.
Yeah, she is,
So.
which we have linked, by the way. And
Yep. And then we have a bunch of articles from 2 weeks ago that we went cover at that time, regarding affidavits, regarding investigations into voter fraud, regarding a YouTube video on it that we linked, and some other stuff.
Yep.
So that's the last 6 or 7 links for just that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you were able to find the update on the Project Veritas thing.
Yeah, we need some more of that too, though. I want to get more updates for them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's an interesting situation.
Yeah, it definitely is.
All right, so now we have our fifth topic here. This is mildly interesting. I'd say pretty expected, but Trump has pardoned Michael Flynn.
Yeah.
Could mean a number of things. Could mean that Trump doesn't think he's going to win. That's what I think, kind of what it means, but we'll see.
Yeah. Or
I mean, it's good that he did it. I think initially he didn't want to do it because the legal proceedings with that whole debacle was exposing a lot of corruption on Obama's part.
Right.
They're
Yeah.
having to prove that Flynn was should not have been convicted of anything, and it just kept blowing up in their faces, man.
Yep.
What do you think about it? What do you think the strategy there was initially not pardoning him?
I don't know. Maybe he was worried about political backlash, which now that doesn't matter. Whether or not he wins the election or not, it doesn't matter. Like whether he pardons him or not. So he was just like, you know what? Fine. I don't have any political backlash from this. Bam, pardon.
Because I think Sidney Powell and him were talking about, because she was a lawyer for Clinton, and
Yeah.
they were just milking it for everything it was worth.
Hmm.
She's pursuing other legal things right now. Maybe not a good time. But they were, in this these hearings, these prolonged hearings, trying to get Michael, court hearings, trying to get Michael Flynn his case dropped because the DOJ said they're not going to pursue it anymore.
Yeah.
That is Judge Sullivan really proved himself to be quite an ass, quite an Obama shill, quite an Obama lackey, and broke a number of rules. He made himself look really bad, but more specifically, made Obama look bad because a lot of things came to light during this, these court proceedings that was pretty fucking damning. So, very interesting.
Yeah, very.
Speaking of interesting things, Tulsi Gabbard, I think she said she's something about. I saw some tweet about maybe her getting together with the Libertarian Party.
Yeah, I think so.
That'd be nice to see her become the third candidate. I don't think she's. I don't know if she's really a libertarian, but at least she's third party makes sense to me because she's not on board with the Democrats, not on board with the Republicans. She should just join our side. Just say, hey, listen, fuck foreign wars, and fuck this, and that. I'm economically. Be simple. I'm economically left wing.
Right. Yeah.
But now she needs to get on board with the guns thing, though. I've heard some of her statements on. Heard some of her statements on guns. I know I probably haven't heard all of them, so I'll reserve judgment. But I don't think she's quite as pro today as she could be, from what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
That shit's got to go before I'm going to consider her someone worth even thinking about.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because if you're worried about the Democratic establishment being a problem, then give people guns. So even if it ever becomes a real problem, we don't have to worry about it.
Yep.
All right, topic number 7. Finally, Supreme Court seems to be kicking into gear. And it looks like it is going to be a pretty good court. I think this is, Barrett's doing a good job thus far. I'm reserving judgment until I see a case that really tests what I want to see.
Right.
If a lockdown case comes up before her, specifically on the validity of overall lockdowns, this is on religious freedom, so there's no really. If you're smart, there's no way else to rule.
Tell that to Mr. Justice Roberts.
Yeah, I know, he's a fucking cunt.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I think that what I'm looking for is another similar thing to Illinois, lockdowns. And to be fair, this is similar to the Illinois case in the sense that it's talking about religious freedoms.
Yeah.
The difference being that in Illinois case, it was more like unequal application of the law. And in the Chris Cuomo case, it's more like a specific law saying fuck Christians. He has a very specific ruling on this sort of stuff. Fuck Jews, fuck Christians. Kind of
Right.
like
Yeah. Exactly.
the
Yeah.
tenor of his administration thus far. So I feel like there's a slightly more obvious anti-religious bent here. But yeah, some people. I mean, I've heard some arguments that this is obviously, the naysayers being wrong about Amy Coney Barrett, and I hope that's true.
Yep.
Hope she judges differently when she's on the bench than she does when she's on the Supreme Court bench than she did on the circuit courts. That would be nice. But I am very pleased with this. This is a good direction for the court to move. I'm glad to see Roberts being, I'm glad to see he no longer has a tiebreaker power. I'm glad to see he's been put into the fucking doghouse where the dickhead belongs. Yep. Put into historic obscurity. No one ever give a fuck about Roberts anymore.
Yeah.
Not an interesting figure in politics anymore. Good. Just like John McCain, you should get cancer and die.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, John. Well, I'm not sorry, John McCain. I'm sorry, Roberts. I don't hate Roberts as much as I hate McCain.
Yeah, for sure.
I know I shouldn't hate anyone, but generally speaking, when you're that much of a politician, it's just like,
yeah, it's pretty
slimy fuck.
Oh yeah.
That's probably where I break with a lot of people on the right. I think a lot of people on the right have a lot more respect for John McCain than I did.
Yeah.
I have zero respect for McCain.
None.
McCain may have been slightly more conservative than Romney, but he didn't do a good job of showing it.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Short little thing about the vaccine here. We have two very successful-looking ones. So, remember when Trump said during debates we'll have one by the end of November? They said, "Well, that's impossible." And your staff says it. It's like, no, it's not. Fuck my staff. I'm talking to the companies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly what they're saying.
So, once again, Trump wins this round.
Yep.
Having been dead fucking right about this.
Yep, 100%.
Yep. On our miscellaneous stuff here, we have Gavin Newsom being a prick, specifically a hypocrite.
Yeah.
We have Jack Dorsey being an idiot when it comes to his own company.
Yep.
And more specifically, it's not really his company. I don't think he even owns close to a majority share of the company.
Yeah, something.
As CEO, he's a dumbass. Doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I would say that Fox News seems to have a real issue right now.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Specifically because they screwed over Kayleigh McEnany and
it was before that too.
But in doing so, the president, now the Arizona thing was bad, but it wasn't just nowhere near as bad as the clear and obvious, we're not going to let voter fraud discussions occur.
Right, yeah.
And that was some shit, my dude.
Yep.
Like, that wasn't just a bad call, that was a direct attack on Trump's base. Yeah. Saying, fuck you, you don't get your day in court.
Right, yeah. And this was before that. This was November 11th, so this was the week after. So, yeah. This was before... Oh, wait, no.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I don't know if it was before, but regardless, it was Oh,
never mind. No, it wasn't. Sorry, I thought that was more recent.
There was a real sharp drop after Kayleigh McEnany getting censored on Fox, whatever. Yeah. Was what I recall. And Crowder talked about it pretty harshly.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a good call, guys.
No, it's not.
You shouldn't have did that.
Nope.
Okay, then we have a back review of the Carter Page lawsuits.
Yeah.
That's right. He's filing. Now, for those of you, Wyatt, maybe like do some backstory here. I know you did some research on this too. Those of you not educated in Carter Page, you fucking cunt. I have to carry this whole pot.
Yep. I'm sorry, man.
Those of you not educated in Carter Page, he was the person they initially got FISA warrants on for spying on Trump's campaign. The warrants were obtained illegally based on the Christopher Steele dossier, which is utter garbage.
Which was Russian disinformation.
Garbage. Yep, and it was also because this is also one of the reasons he's suing, is that an FBI lawyer altered an email from the CIA to make it look like Carter Page was not a was a rogue American trying to become a Russian asset or talking to Russians too friendly. When actually the CIA had pretty clearly said in an email they sent back to him that he was a CIA asset talking to Russians on the U.S.'s behalf.
Right. Yep.
On behalf of the intelligence agencies. So, the lawyer doctored an email and submitted that as evidence to a FISA court. I think he did a plea deal, but I mean, it was looking bad for him for a while.
Yeah, it was.
That lawyer. But Carter Page is now suing good.
Yeah, good
He's
stuff.
suing a lot of people too. He's suing like the FBI, the
DOJ,
DOJ.
James Comey,
He's suing Comey and Gabe,
McCabe.
and Lisa,
Yeah.
or Lisa Page, and I don't know if he's suing like Peter Schrock, but yeah, he's suing a shitload of people. Good, fuck him.
Mm-hmm.
Now we
Exactly.
have the Great Reset,
Yeah.
which is a World Economic Forum, initially called a conspiracy despite the fact the documents are public knowledge.
Yeah.
But now we have with our Justin Trudeau clip, pretty much just verified evidence. That's how the world leaders think this is going down.
Yeah.
As an opportunity to rearrange the global economy, which is just it's disgusting that they would even think about that during a pandemic as opposed to getting people safe and getting people back to normal. More accurately, just stop lying to them, let them go back to about their daily lives. But no,
Yep.
we're going to use it to like completely reshape the economy of the world. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy about it.
Right. Yeah.
What garbage. What utter fucking garbage. Just unbelievable. Alright. Now the most important news of the week, Jordan Peterson has a new book.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, he
He's
does.
back and better than ever. And 12 More Rules for Life should be available. I don't know if it's true or if it's available now or if it will be available in the near future. But
I think it's near future.
all right, cool. That's what I thought too. But yeah, get a copy when you can. Pre-order one if you have to.
Yeah. And
Peterson books are always there.
yeah. One other thing is that I forgot to link, and I'll try to find the clip so I can put it put it in there. But did you see about the clip of Obama? Like,
Yeah, crapping on like the Latino community.
yeah. Well, no. Crapping on Trump, saying that it's not safe for journalists and all this stuff, and like he specifically lists things that he was guilty of.
Yeah, but I mean, like
Not
I was
Trump.
talking about more like the Mexican thing. I thought was interesting, but yeah, no, I hadn't
Oh
seen
no,
it.
I didn't see that. What did he say?
I just basically called them like race traitors or racists.
Oh, well, that's wonderful.
That was the tone of it, at least.
Gotcha. Yeah.
The sort of why would you vote for Trump if you're Mexican?
Yeah.
Oh, Obama.
Thanks, Obama.
Someone just fucking. God, can we just shut him the fuck up?
Yeah. Agreed.
Just duct tape his mouth closed and stuff him in a corner. He lives like a mile from the White House, if I recall.
Really? Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
this fucking asshole.
My goodness.
I think, or at least he has a residence there. That's what I recall.
Mm.
But yeah, it's just like he's such a pompous dickhead. Like
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos lives in Washington D.C. too.
Yep.
Fucking cunts. These asshats. Oh, it's so obvious what they're doing. All right, I've had my fill, Wyatt. Did you remember to switch the memes?
Yes, I did, and I switched it
Thank
back
you.
once we hit like an hour or so. Sort of just having it like 30 minutes for one, 30 minutes for the other, and then switching. So,
Well, I'm done talking. I've hit my limit.
Yeah. All right. But
I'm tired. So
yeah.
I'm gonna wrap this one up for tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll definitely come back, full force with a
Yep.
nice, proper, 2-hour-long conversation next week.
Yep. And
With,
also,
hope the news in more detail. We'll try and be more concise. Just trying to, speed through 2 weeks of news is not easy.
yeah, it's not definitely not easy. And also, we do still plan on doing the Constitution Day or the Bill of Rights Day. So we'll do a Constitution episode special, like we did with the Declaration of Independence. Hopefully, hopefully we won't be too busy with me starting a new job or whatever. But we should have time to do that and crank that out and put it out on Bill of Rights Day, which I believe is the 15th or the 14th of December.
I can't remember.
Hold on. Yeah, 15th.
Not uber
15th.
not uber relevant.
15th
Anyway,
of December. But we should be doing a special on that. So we'll be going down, just like we did with the Declaration of Independence. It'll take a while, for sure, because we're going to go through the Constitution plus the Bill of Rights. So,
All right.
but yeah, and then, yeah, so as always, thanks for listening.
And remember, socialism and anarchy are mutually exclusive.
Okay. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Please leave a comment down below if you understand the first meme.
And if you'd like Coca-Cola to put cocaine back in their bottles, please share this video.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and we will talk to y'all next week.